Thank you, Marla.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about getting ready for practices and getting ready for games. There are some things that are really important. I'm not going to rehash the things that have already been talked about, but please be sure to get there before practice starts, in time enough for the child or the player to get their shoes on and be ready to practice when practice starts. We have a limited amount of time that we have these gyms. We need to get started on time. Okay? They are going to need to bring jump ropes, their basketballs, mouth guards. One of the things that we've got to work on as a program and getting better at. We do not want someone to lose a tooth in a game. We do not want someone to lose a tooth in a practice. Mouth guards are really important. There are some mouth guards that are better at letting the child talk. They're smaller and still do the work. I would encourage everybody to look for those. As far as games, please bring both uniforms. Sometimes other teams don't have the other color. Okay? On the schedules, I'm not going to say we're wearing white, we're wearing black. If you look at the schedule and it comes out, the first team listed is typically home, and home is white. If there are some tournaments that vary, we'll let you know when that happens. But the vast majority of them, that's the way that it works. Marla talked about cleaning up on the bench after the game. One of the biggest pet peeves in our program. When the team walks away and there's about 20 water bottles and Gatorade bottles and what have you under the bench. It's not fair to the people who have they're running the event to make them clean up after your child. Please make sure that our players, and we talk about it as coaches, to get it all cleaned up before we go. That applies to practice facilities too. Some of the facilities we're renting, some of the POW we get to use without charge. We need to leave it clean so that we're welcome again. We ask that players help us do things like get all the stuff put away that we got out. Stuff like turn the lights out, make sure the door is shut, things like that. So that we're welcome to be there again. I think that's all we have to talk about on that. Tyler Morningstar is going to talk about USA basketball philosophies and so on and so forth.
Can everybody hear me, or do I need this mic? Can everybody hear me?
Mike,
I need a mic.
your voice sounds better.
Okay, so I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, USA Basketball kind of came out with their new standards for the youth. It essentially is this: less games, more practice. That's what it boils down to. Especially at the younger age, as they get older, you can have more games. And we've kind of tied that into our philosophy here at Team Focus. We'll probably play less tournaments than everybody else because we care about long-term development of your kid, of your player. Okay? Games are not that important. Practice is developing, getting to understand the nuances of the game and their instincts. That is the most important thing. One of the things, too, that we need to pride ourselves on, and I've learned this as a parent recently. I've got a 3-year-old and a 20-month-old at home, and I've kind of learned this, is the growth mindset. Is anybody familiar with the growth mindset? Yeah, good. You can cue that up. Yep. So essentially what it's saying is, do not praise your child for the results. Praise effort. And there's lots of studies that have just come out and have shown how that can be very effective in their willingness to try something and still possibly fail and try again, and try again, and try again, even if they fail. That doesn't matter to them. So I hope that that's something that we can take as a program and implement it. And again, it's something that's relatively new. I know that the schools around the area are having seminars and stuff in the growth mindset. So that's not the growth mindset.
See you next week. Thanks, guys.
So I hope that kind of gives a good overview of what we're going for. I've been coaching varsity basketball for 10 years now. This is my 10th year. I played small college basketball, and I've worked with probably hundreds of athletes in the Fort Wayne area. And that, in the past 2 years, has kind of completely changed the way that I approach all of that. And with that, I also want to say to you guys, as parents, and some of you I'm sure are athletes, how many games do you guys remember, like scores? How many games, Derek, how many games do you remember scores and things that happened? 0. So the stuff that I remember as a coach and as a player, bus rides, inside jokes. You know, I run into players all the time, and we talk about stuff that didn't happen on the basketball court. So I kind of want to kind of lost my train of thought here. I kind of want to, what's the word I'm looking for? Yes, refocus on this is about your kids and their experience, and we want it to be fun and make sure that they create memories. And I think this Team Focus is a great opportunity for them to do so. So, thanks guys.
Now that we've completely beat you parents up, please remember, we really appreciate all of you. Without you, this program doesn't happen, obviously, from a financial standpoint to getting your kids to practices and games. So please, we're just trying to hopefully deliver a message really strong. So we do appreciate you. We do, and we're not going to be shove it down your throat in front of your child or in front of games and say, stop doing what you're doing. We want it to be a process for you, and we want to help every one of you in the room here. So just the last few things, all those, the rules, the player agreement, parent agreement, uniform agreement, you'll have to log back into League Apps. It's our managing software this year. If you do not have an account set up, you need to get that set up as soon as possible. I don't think nobody is. I think we got everybody in there. But go in there in your family page, and you have copies of all this. You'll need to click on each one of them just to authorize that you read through it. The uniform agreement on there as well. So make sure you do that here in the next couple days here. So we'll be checking and reminding everybody on that. As far as event schedules, just real quick back to Tyler when he was talking USA Basketball is, I don't know if everybody's kept up with the NCAA and all the shenanigans that's going on there with paying players, and there's a lot of bad basketball out there, from recruiting to just a lot of different things. USA Basketball is taking over youth basketball basically, and empowering and putting more of a sanction and rule set on all youth basketball. So over the next 5 years, the landscape of youth basketball is going to look extremely different. So I encourage you to go to USA Basketball website, read up on it. They have a lot of bugs to work out, but I think overall they've got a great message. So on the event schedule, tournament schedules, right now on our website, we have the tournament schedule on our website. There will be some tweaking of that, and over the next 7 days, we will have coaches send out what the team's actual schedule will be from a tournament standpoint. We have some leagues that we're going to run of ourselves, whether it will be Central Noble's our location this year, or we'll run some single games at POW, some different shootouts that we're trying to do. We have our own tournament January 5th and 6th up in Coldwater, Michigan. Just gives an opportunity for us to be involved in event side of things to help us raise money for our program. So we'll get those out here real quick, but I also want you to keep an open mind. We will make some changes based on where we're at as a team, as a program. We will try our darndest to stay on the same weekend that we've already got a schedule for. We may just change locations, change the type of event we plan, but be open to that. If we add something last minute or we challenge you with a schedule, we're not going to beat you up. We're not going to kick you off the team. Just if you can do it, great. If not, we will move on and we will take on that tournament or take on that league game. Every one of us is trying to get as much as we can into our teams. So we'll try to be very consistent with our practice schedule. We've locked our time with every facility till March. So our practice schedule should not change much. There are times things pop up though, so just be on your look for GroupMe. Our new software this year does give you notifications, so if you're not getting notifications, reminders on practices, please let one of us know so we can make sure that's set up. It also has a text feature to where you'll receive text messages if you like those better than emails. But right now everybody in this room is opted out of the text messaging, so you'll have to go into your account and opt into the text messaging for us to send the messages to you. or you can stay on the email. We'll send both if there's any last minute changes.